please rise? The Honorable Judges of the Courts of Common Pleas. The Honorable Judges of the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania. The Honorable Justices of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania and Judges of the Superior Court of Pennsylvania. Oyez, oyez, oyez. Let the ceremonial session of the Superior Court of Pennsylvania come to order. Let all manner of persons rise and attend. Let the friends, family, and associates of the Honorable Brandon Neuman be joyful. Let the citizens of this Commonwealth be confident and sure as the Superior Court convenes for administration to Brandon Neuman the oath of office for the Superior Court of Pennsylvania. God save the Commonwealth and this honorable court. The Honorable Jack Pennella, President Judge Emeritus, presiding. Please be seated.
Well, good evening, everyone. And thank you very much for joining us for this joyous occasion to install our newest judge, Judge Brandon Neuman. And you know, as I look down at them, I think we should deviate from the program a little bit and let's ask Judge Neuman and his family to stand and let's give them a warm Pennsylvania welcome. Wasn't that a good way to start this program? Well, Judge, you and your family look incredibly well today, and we welcome you to the Superior Court of Pennsylvania. At this point, I'm going to ask all of you to rise again, and please stay standing for the presentation of our colors. After the flag is up here, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we will hear the national anthem by Abby Keffer. So at this point, I'd like to ask the Claysville American Legion Honor Guard to please present the colors. Would you please rise? Everyone, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' bright glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Everyone, please be seated. Well, it is my privilege to make a few announcements on behalf of the judiciary. And I must tell you that we are so lucky in this state to have a Chief Justice who is scholarly, compassionate, and truly caring. We really are the envy of most other states in having Chief Justice Deborah Todd lead the Pennsylvania judiciary. So everyone, let's welcome Chief Justice Deborah Todd. Now, secondly, we need to thank the Pennsylvania electorate, because did they make the right decision last year in keeping our Supreme Court intact? And yes. And the Superior Court welcomes Justice Christine Donahue and Justice David Webb. I'd like to now introduce our new judges' colleagues on the Superior Court, some of whom traveled all the way across the state to join us today to show you our pride in your election. Please hold your applause. I'll announce everybody. Judge Mary Jane Bowes, Judge Judith Olson, Judge Alice DeBow, Judge Deborah Kunselman, Judge Mary Murray, Judge Maria McLaughlin, Judge Jill Beck, and Judge Tamika Lane. Everyone. With us today is the Honorable Pam Snyder, who's going to approach the podium and make a few more introductions of some dignitaries that also took the time to join us today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to apologize beforehand because I have a list of dignitaries that are with us, but if I miss anyone, it's not my fault. Please hold your applause till the end. We are pleased to have all of these folks with us. State Democrat leader and Senator Jay Costa, State Representative Ryan Bizzarro, State Representative Brian Cutler, former State Senator Tim Salabai, former State Rep Paul Costa, former State Representative Bill Korst, Allegheny County Treasurer Erica Brasellers, former County Commissioner John Bevick, former County Commissioner Dave Coder, former Pittsburgh Controller Michael Lamb, Washington County Commissioner Larry Maggi, City of Washington Councilman Member Ken Westcott, Mayor of Downington Erica Dussault, the Chair of the Pennsylvania Democrat Party Eugene DePasquale. We have some county chairs with us: Washington County Chair Christina Proctor, Montgomery County Chair Jason Solis, Westmoreland County Chair Michelle McFall, Greene County Chair Melody Hersey, and Lawrence County Chair Tim Buck. And we'd also like to recognize any labor leaders in the room, so if we could please give all of those folks a round of applause. It is an honor to stand here today for an occasion that is both professional and deeply personal: the installation of my dear friend, the Honorable Brandon Neuman, to the Pennsylvania Superior Court. I had the privilege of serving with Brandon in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, where I witnessed every day the qualities that make him extraordinary. Brandon wasn't the loudest voice in the room, but he was always the most prepared, the most thoughtful, and the most profoundly committed to the people he served. He brought a seriousness of purpose rooted in something rare in public life: humility. He never sought the spotlight, he sought solutions. He never chased credit, he chased what was right. When Brandon left the House to serve as a judge on the Washington County Court of Common Pleas, none of us were surprised. It was a natural next step for someone whose integrity, fairness, and empathy had always set him apart. On that bench, he proved again that justice is best delivered by a steady hand and a generous heart. His reputation for compassion, balance, and meticulous understanding of the law quickly became known far and beyond the county line. But today is not just about his credentials, impressive as they are. Today is about his character. Brandon is the same person in chambers as he is in a committee room, as he is at home with his family, and as he is among friends: grounded, honest, loyal, and unwavering in his belief that the law should serve people, not intimidate them, not divide them, but serve them. And I can tell you from years of friendship, he lives those values, not just speaks them. I have watched him show up for people in quiet moments, in difficult moments, in moments when no one was watching. That is who Brandon is, and that is the kind of person we want on the Superior Court of Pennsylvania. So today, we are not just installing a judge. We are elevating someone who has earned our trust, our respect, and our confidence, not with ambition, but with devotion, not with ego, but with service. And yes, he still manages to keep a sense of humor through it all. Believe me, usually dry, always well-timed, and often just when it's needed most. The ability to balance seriousness with humanity is part of what makes him such an exceptional judge. Today affirms what so many of us have always known, that Brandon Neuman belongs exactly where he is, serving with honor, humility, and heart. When Brandon was elected judge of the Court of Common Pleas, the headline in the local paper the next day read, "A man of the people," and I couldn't agree more. Brandon, I am so proud and happy for you, and so honored to call you my friend. I love you, even though I always tell you you're the son I never wanted. I love you.
Well, as Judge Neuman found out, one of the more difficult parts of your installation ceremony is limiting the number of speakers, because there's so many friends and supporters out there that you would like to call upon. And when we first started to organize this, Judge Neuman asked me, I have 37 speakers. And I told him, try to limit it to 3. Wasn't that a good idea? So the first speaker we're going to hear from tonight is Attorney Robert Pierce.
I first met Brandon when he was finishing his third year law school in the great university and great law school of Duquesne. And I interviewed him for a job. And I found out a lot about him in a few minutes. You could tell he was something special, not just because he was way high in the class ranking and because he was a former past student president, but he had a presence about him. He was a people person. He was somebody that would get respect immediately, somebody you would want to hire. And we hired him. I made that decision to hire him. I made him an offer that day so no one else could take him away from us. And he went at our law firm, and he went, as you saw in the introduction, he started trying cases in his first year out of law school. And he was a superstar and going to be there as we all expected. But about a year later, Brandon came to me and said, "Bob, I love this firm. I want to be part of it. I want to stay part of it. But I've always had an interest in public service. I want to run for the House of Representatives, but I want to stay with the firm. I want to be part of the firm. I want to be part of what I'm doing, but I'm hope that you will support me because I think I can do both, but this is something I feel strongly about." And I've spent some time in politics and government myself. And I left it thinking that one of the problems we have, and still have today, is we have too many mediocre people in government. The best and the brightest go to law firms, go to corporations, start their businesses, make a lot of money, and they stay away from government, and they stay away from politics. And I said, "Brandon, we're happy to help you. We need people like you. The state needs more like you." And he was on his way. And by the way, just to prove that this guy does everything right, he married well. He married somebody that puts up with the aggravation of running for election and being away from home and all the things that politicians have to pay for. And he was, as we all know, he was a big success in Harrisburg and the Commonwealth and now with the Superior Court of Pennsylvania. You may not know this, but I'm 110 years old. I look back, I'm entitled now to look back on my successes and my failures. And I'd rather look on my successes. And I can't think of anything I did that makes me more proud and feel good about myself is the role I had in introducing Brandon Neuman to the citizens of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you.
We will now hear from the Honorable Ryan Pizarro, a member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives.
Thank you. What an honor it is to be here tonight. Good evening, everyone, members of the bench, bar, honored guests, family, friends, and anyone who's here because Brandon shamelessly texted it would mean a lot if you came, which with Brandon we know is legally binding. Welcome to the PCN roast of Judge Brandon Neuman. No, I kid. I've been given strict instructions to keep it light into 2 minutes, or Celeste will come up and tackle me on the stage, so I'm going to abide by those guidelines that she has given me tonight. We're here to install my good friend, Judge Brandon Neuman, to the Pennsylvania Superior Court, which is a tremendous honor and a serious responsibility. I have had the privilege of knowing Brandon for a long time. We served together in the legislature, and he was one of the very first members I met, quickly becoming a good friend and one of my best friends after he left. And I could say this with confidence. He has been the older brother I never had or wanted. The kind who offers guidance, wisdom, mentorship, while ruthlessly, and ladies and gentlemen, I mean ruthlessly, busting my chops at the same time. And somehow, he makes you better for it. But that's Brandon. He's tough, he's fair, he's disciplined, and Brandon is always prepared. He holds people to high standards, starting with himself. And if you fall a little short, he will absolutely let you know. Politely, thoughtfully, with that grin, and just enough sarcasm to make sure the lesson sticks. That combination is exactly why he belongs on the Superior Court. Brandon understands that law is a serious business. He approaches it with discipline, integrity, and unwavering respect for precedent. But he also understands that judges serve people and that justice requires empathy, patience, and perspective. To Brandon's family, thank you. Thank you for sharing him with the people of Pennsylvania. Your support, sacrifice, and encouragement have helped make this moment possible. Today is just as much a reflection of your commitment as it is to his. Carrie, Mrs. Neuman, you all are saints, both of you. To my brother from another, Brandon, congratulations on this well-earned moment. You bring intelligence, fairness, humility, and yes, that big brother energy to the Pennsylvania Superior Court. Our Commonwealth is fortunate to have you, and I'm grateful to call you a mentor, a friend, and someone who will absolutely enjoy reminding me he's now an appellate court judge. Congratulations, Judge Neuman. I am proud of you, incredibly proud of you, and wish you all the best as you begin this important chapter of service. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Our last speaker is Attorney Joseph Messa. Attorney Messa.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Messa. I'm a Philadelphia trial lawyer, and I'm an Eagles fan, for those of you who don't know me. I must say that I was honored when I was asked to speak at Judge Neuman's swearing in, even more so when I learned that I was the only speaker from Philly. I understand for some folks from the West, including many of my extended family, that my hometown is something of an anomaly and sometimes gets a bad rap. What many of you don't know, however, is that my mother is from Canonsburg, though she, like Brandon, thankfully lost the Washington County pronunciation. I first met Brandon about 15 years ago when he was a new representative, an eager, fresh face, dynamic voice whose mission was to advance the interests of the citizens of his district and of the Commonwealth. Over the next 6 years, I would run into Brandon occasionally at an event in Philly or on a trip to Harrisburg. While Brandon was a valued member of the House, he had a calling to the judiciary. Justice and doing the right thing always seemed to be at the forefront of Brandon's ideals, though perhaps some frustration over difficulty in actually getting positive change accomplished in Harrisburg at the time may have played a role. Brandon then went on, as you know, for the next 7 years to distinguish himself as a judge in Washington County. I didn't see him much during that time, and he probably won't remember this. During the time that he was a judge in Washington County, I didn't have the opportunity to appear before him, but I did run into Brandon at a Cecil Township Fall Festival a few years after he took the bench while I was in Canonsburg visiting family. While I was very happy to see Brandon, I hadn't seen him in a while, I must admit my daughter Nola was more interested in the animals in the petting zoo than meeting Brandon. Which brings us to today. When Brandon first announced his run for the Superior Court, I thought it was a wonderful idea. Though I never had the privilege to appear before him as a judge, I know Brandon as fair, even-tempered, practical, and intelligent. I also know him to be charming, charismatic, engaging, and thoughtful. Brandon is likewise someone who is more than willing to work hard for what he believes in. So in addition to being a great judge, which he already was, I knew Brandon was someone who would be a terrific candidate. And an outstanding candidate for his first statewide election. With those innate qualities as a judge and a candidate, I was happy to take the occasional late night and weekend calls about the campaign, both good and bad, as the race unfolded. There were a few times when Brandon expressed concerns about the election or doubts about what might happen. My confidence, however, never wavered. And Brandon proved me right. He won the election by 500,000 votes. And this guy from Washington County won my hometown, Philadelphia, by more than 250,000 votes. In fact, he did better in Philadelphia with 85% of the vote than he did in Allegheny County with 67%, or Washington County with 52% of the vote, which wasn't surprising to me. Now, Brandon believes in fairness and individual rights. He will continue to protect the rights of Pennsylvania citizens, as he demonstrated in the Washington County Board of Elections case, where he protected the rights of Pennsylvania voters, ruling that election officials must notify voters who made fatal errors filling out their mail-in ballots and give them the opportunity to cure those mistakes so that their vote was counted, so that their voice is heard. Brandon's ruling was upheld by our Supreme Court. Because of what I know about Brandon as a legislator, what I've heard and read of him as a judge on the Court of Common Pleas, and what I know of him as a person, I'm certain that Brandon will be a welcome and distinguished colleague on our esteemed Superior Court. So Brandon, having been to the cattle auction in '84 Pennsylvania with my Uncle Bob when I was a kid, I may in fact be the only person from Philly who's been to and knows where you're from and where your hometown is. I'm pretty sure there were more people that grew up on my block as a kid in Philly than the population of '84 Pennsylvania. You've come a long way from that small town. Congratulations and best of luck on ascending to the Superior Court. I look forward to appearing before you and to your continued distinguished career and dedication to the people of Pennsylvania.
And now, speaking on behalf of the Pennsylvania judiciary, is the Honorable Gary Gilman, a retired judge of the Court of Common Pleas. Judge Gilman.
May it please the court. Good evening, everybody. It's certainly an honor to be asked to speak at Brandon Neuman's installation ceremony. The classic children's book, The Little Engine That Could, by Waddy Piper, is a story about a small blue engine that successfully pulls a train full of toys over a mountain by repeating the mantra, "I think I can, I think I can." It is a beloved tale of determination, optimism, and perseverance, teaching children about the power of positive thinking to overcome challenges. The plot concerns a train carrying toys that breaks down just before it approaches the mountain. Larger, more important engines refuse to help, but a small engine agrees to try, challenging and chugging its way up the hill while encouragingly chanting, "I think I can, I think I can." The story is a powerful metaphor for self-belief and the idea that with determination, even seemingly impossible tasks can be accomplished. So you might be thinking and saying to yourself, what does the little engine that could have to do with Brandon Neuman? And that's a fair question to ask, because Brandon Neuman has never been referred to as little. He literally has the broadest shoulders any of us know of. Well, the analogy here is that political pundits said that for a Democrat to win statewide election, he or she had to be from Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. They could certainly point to history. After all, the facts bear that no judicial candidate from Washington County has ever won an appellate election. The last time even any candidate from Washington County won a statewide election was 74 years ago, when former Governor Ed Martin was reelected to the United States Senate for a second term in 1952. But with patience, perseverance, and determination, Judge Neuman won. Like the little engine that could, Judge Neuman was not going to have those who define the conventional wisdom make a determination of what he could accomplish. When finding himself with a seemingly impossible task, he found the right track to success. Brandon patiently analyzed the right time to run and moved forward with all determination and all his resourcefulness. Further, and according to my research, at the age of 44, he did it as the youngest person elected to the Superior Court. I hope AI was right about that. I first met Brandon Neuman in 2010 when he first ran for the Pennsylvania House. One day during the campaign season, he rang my mother-in-law's doorbell to introduce himself. My mother-in-law was so impressed with Brandon that she immediately called my wife and myself to tell us about this wonderful young man that she had just met. Because my mother-in-law was a great judge of people's character, I thought it would be a good idea for my teenage son and myself to offer our services to help Brandon during his first campaign. My son was very interested in politics at the time and still is, and I wanted an ambitious person of character representing me in Harrisburg. Of course, as we all know, Brandon was successful in his campaign, as well as for an additional 3 consecutive terms. He then decided to run for the Court of Common Pleas of Washington County in 2017. Brandon won both nominations, the Democrat nomination and the Republican nomination, which is, I think, a true testament to his personality and character, for they are not defined by his political party or associations. When Judge Neuman joined the bench, he was a terrific colleague to me and the entire court. My wife, Kathy Emery, and I served as president judges of the Court of Common Pleas of Washington County for a total of 7.5 years, and Judge Neuman accepted every assignment without question, hesitation, or reservation, and with the same respect and determination as exemplified by the little engine that could. He never said no, he never said I'm too busy, a more junior judge should be doing that work, or I don't have experience in this field of law. For example, in the middle of the 2023 term, Veterans Treatment Court needed to be reassigned due to some unexpected reasons. The docket was given to Judge Neuman, and he did not push back, despite the fact that he was not the most junior judge, he was not a veteran, and had no experience in counseling or social work. Rather, he embraced the assignment and put his heart and his head into it. Since treatment court involves motivating and encouraging participants, Judge Neuman thought it important that the treatment court defendants needed to see that their judge was an understanding person with whom they could easily and openly communicate. So he decided to take them fishing on a Saturday to build their trust, despite the fact that he is a very busy and devoted father to 4 very young and lively children, Josie, Abe, Claire, and Violet. The Superior Court is gaining an insightful, valued, and experienced jurist, one that Washington County can proudly say is theirs and will happily share with the entire state. Congratulations to my dear friend. Washington County hopes you have a splendid career on the Superior Court and any other career or court you may pursue.
Thank you, Judge. And most of you couldn't see this, but we have to thank the judge. When he said the name of Judge Neuman's children, you should have seen the smile on the 4 of their faces. It was wonderful. Before we get into the actual installation of Judge Neuman, it's very important to the members of the Superior Court and the justice from the Supreme Court to acknowledge the members of our sister court, the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania, who took time from their busy schedules to join us today, as well as the members of the trial court. All of us, thank you very much. Well, in just a few moments, we're going to ask our new judge to approach with, to actually stand up. There's no approaching the bench here. To actually stand up with his family for the actual administration of the oath. Before that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Justice Todd for her remarks, and then she'll immediately go into the oath of office. Chief, let's give you the mic.
Thank you, President Judge Emeritus Piniella. Judge Brandon Neuman, congratulations. I'm so happy for you, and I can't tell you with my colleagues, Justice Donahue and Justice Wecht, how thrilled we are to have you join our Superior Court and indeed our appellate court family. We welcome your beautiful family, your wife, Carrie, your son, Abe, and your daughters, Josie, Claire, and Violet. Could you all wave, the children? What a beautiful family. We're so happy that you're here to see your father sworn in today as a Superior Court judge. This is a really big deal. And you will always remember being here, and I know your parents are just so thankful to have you here supporting him on this important day. Justice Donahue, Justice Wecht, and I served on the Superior Court, so we know firsthand what a wonderful job it is. And I can tell you, Judge Neuman, you are going to love the Superior Court. I know you loved serving on the Washington County Court of Common Pleas, and you did such a brilliant job there. But you are going to love the Superior Court. When you attend our appellate court conference, which we have every summer, you will have the opportunity to truly get to know not only your colleagues on Superior Court, but your colleagues on the Commonwealth Court and on our Supreme Court. And you'll understand that when I say we have an appellate court family, I mean it. You're going to feel very welcome, and we're going to be very happy to have you. I wanted to personally thank you for the work you did as a common pleas judge, of course, as a legislator as well. But as a common pleas judge, you not only heard cases, as we heard from Judge Gilman, you took on the leadership of the Veterans Court, And our Supreme Court is very supportive of all of our treatment courts, and I in particular am very devoted to our state's veterans courts. And I know the great job that you did, and I want you to know personally how much I appreciate your support of Pennsylvania's veterans, and as a trial lawyer, your support and advocacy for Pennsylvania's elders. Thank you for that. And now, I believe the time has come for you to be officially sworn in as a judge on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. And I would like to ask you and your family to come forward. I think if we stand on this riser, people will be able to see you take the oath. Kids, we got it together here. We can all be seen. Violet, you're stealing the show, honey. And Josie, Claire, and Abe, you're all ready? This is the big moment, okay? I'm gonna ask you to hold the Bible up high. So your dad has his hand on the Bible and will raise his right hand. And repeat after me. I, Brendan Neuman,
I, Brandon Neuman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this
and
Commonwealth,
the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
as judge of the Superior Court of Pennsylvania
as judge of the Superior Court of Pennsylvania
with fidelity,
with fidelity.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Everyone, please be seated. And of course, we would all like to thank the judge's wife, Carrie Neuman, for doing a wonderful job of robing the judge.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. And now it's only right that we give our new judge the right of rebuttal. So he's going to make a few comments.
Do you mind if I go to the podium?
Go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for being here and attending this. This has been a really crazy year. 2025 was just a crazy year. And when you think about everything that has gone on in my life, you start to put the puzzle together. And first, I just want to thank everyone who was part of the program today. Abigail, you did a great job. Abigail is from my alma mater, Cannon McMillan High School, so she came up, and her family's here too. So I was proud to have someone from my alma mater sing. And we have Claysville, American Legion, the Honor Guard. They're from Washington County as well. So I was very proud to have Washington County Honor Guard to come up and do the presentation of the flag. So thank you very much for that. Truly appreciate the speakers today. Joe, I'm sorry that you're an Eagles fan. It is nice that the Steelers made it to the playoffs by the skin of their teeth, but they are there now, and we will root for an all-Pennsylvania Super Bowl come in February. And it kind of hurts my heart that your family's from Washington County and you root for the Eagles. It does. To Bob Pierce. Mr. Pierce, I got introduced to Mr. Pierce. He is truly one of the main reasons I'm standing here today. Yes, I went and asked him if I could run for the state representative and still be employed. A lot of it was because I had a lot of student loans that I had to repay, and I needed to work while I was running for office. And just the mentorship, his interest in politics, but more so his interest in doing the right things. The people at the firm that were my mentors, Bob Daly and Liz Chiapetta, are here. People that I worked with, like Scott Simon, are here. I truly appreciate all the opportunities that Robert Pierce and Associates gave me as an attorney and as a person so that I could remain in Washington County, run for a district where I grew up and I lived. And I just appreciate everything that you've done for me, Bob. So thank you for being part of my life. You're a big part of my life. So I truly appreciate that. To Gary Gilman, Judge Gilman, and to all of my Washington County judges, whenever you're a county trial judge, you deal with heavy issues. And there's really no one to talk to about these issues. Sometimes you're just not allowed to talk about them. And other times you just don't feel comfortable talking about them. So in the things that I've learned, Judge Lucas is here, Judge Pettit is here, my former president judge, Judge Emery is here, my former president judge, Judge DeSalle is here, and Judge Gilman being one of my former president judges. The things that you've taught me is really what prepared me for me to even be able to think about running for something like the Superior Court. So the practitioners from Washington County are the ones that travel to Washington County to practice law. To the judges that my colleagues that I served with, I truly appreciate the work that you did with me and everything. Mike Lucas is smiling because I'm not going to call him any more questions, because he's a living encyclopedia about rules. I'm like, hey, what rule is this? And he would get it off the top of his head. So thank you for the good times that we had, being a true colleague and listening when there were heavy moments that there was really no one else to talk to. So thank you for being part of my life and my journey as I went to where I am today. And this really my interest in public service started in the early 2000s. When I originally interned for then State Representative Tim Solobai, and then eventually that's the same seat that I ran for in 2010. And so the things that I learned from Representative Solobai, John Bevick, people in his office like Pat Miliato, Carla Mast, and Larry Pansino, they taught me what public service was all about. It's all about people. And that is what really sparked my interest, and that's one of the reasons that I went to law school. And I can give my mom credit because she's the one that told me to apply for an internship with Representative Solobai, and I was like, I don't know, I just kind of want to be a valet driver and a banquet server, but it all worked out. So thank you, to my family in Washington County. Consider my family in Washington County that brought public service to my life. Everyone sitting up here knows, and the county judges know, and anybody that's run for elected office, it's hardest on your family. There's no doubt about it. I'm away. Whenever I was in the House of Representatives, Josie was born October 6th. I was going to dinner. We were in the middle of a budget impasse, and I got the call. And I was like, thank God, they're going to do a tax vote tomorrow. And I got to go home to make sure I'm there when Josie was born. So the commitment, and then I was gone for the first 2.5 months. I was gone for like 40 days because we had the budget impasse. And so the commitment of my family, my parents are here, Jim and Susan are here, my sisters are here, Kristen and Aaron. Kristen's husband is here, Scotty. Bub, my nephew, Victoria, my niece, they're all here. My brother's not here, but he can't vote for me anyway because he lives in Missouri, so I wasn't really worried about him. But I don't know if he'd vote for me anyway, so. But we do miss him. I wish that my brother could have made it out, but he wasn't able to make it today. So thank you to my family. To my in-laws are here, Ken and Sherry Seckler, thank you for being here. One of my most important in-laws, my brother-in-law and I were great friends in law school. He made a mistake. He introduced me to his younger sister. And yes, at family functions, I make him call me Your Honor. So thank you, Tim, for really for introducing me to Carrie. But it's a great family commitment that they're all here to see this moment today. To my wife, Carrie, look, 2024 came around. It was like December. I'm like, Carrie, I think I'm going to run for the Superior Court. And she kind of looked at me at that time, 9, 6, 5, and 2-year-old, and said, you're crazy. And after we worked it out and I told her what the plan was, she warmed up to it a little bit. And I couldn't have done any of this without you. I truly appreciate your commitment to me, our 4 kids, and they're being very well behaved right now, so I'm happy about that. But thank you for everything, supporting me and everything I do. To my friends in the House of Representatives that are here and not here, there's some that couldn't make it. A lot of them have texted me. But the nice thing about being in the House of Representatives, especially at a young age, is people want to help you. And I listened to that help. Some of it wasn't always good, but I listened. And so having Pam Snyder, who came in the term after me, I would introduce her. I would introduce myself as her grandson and pretended like I wasn't a House member, and she didn't really like that. But the commitment to public service that people like Pam Snyder and Ryan Bizzaro, my man, wild man Bill Courts is here. My former colleague Eugene D. Pasquale is here. There may be some others that I'm missing. And then in addition to that, when I first got elected in 2011, I got sworn in, there were so many people from the other side of the aisle. It wasn't it was a one-sided year, that they had to move some of the Republicans over to the Democrat side. And one of the best things that happened is I had Brian Cutler and Ryan Allment sit in front of me. Now, I don't necessarily agree with them all the time philosophically, but Brian Cutler is here, former Speaker of the House, Republican Speaker of the House. I remember going to his summer picnic. I said, you know what, I'll go out to Lancaster County, which I used to call it Lancaster, and then I got crucified. So I went out to Lancaster County. I'm sitting across from his daughter, I think it was Cheyenne. She probably had to be 8 at the time. And she looks at me and she goes, "You're a Democrat." And I said, "Well, I think I'm going to leave." No, but reaching across the aisle, not only to get legislation passed and to get laws passed, but just being nice and courteous. And I consider anybody who was in the House of Representatives or any judge, whatever party they are, I consider you a colleague. Even though we might not always agree with each other, it doesn't mean we're not colleagues. And so I appreciate Brian coming from Lancaster County all the way to here in Allegheny County to see me get sworn in. But my good friends like Joanna McClinton and Matt Bradford and the ones that are still there, their call to public service and all their calls to public service are evident. And so I appreciate their friendship and I appreciate their guidance. The things that I learned from them has been invaluable in my life, and realizing that people do always come first. When I was in law school, we have President Gormley is here today, and we have Dean Barton here from the Klein School of Law at Duquesne. Your commitment to public service is evident. Who here who has a robe on or doesn't have a robe on is a Duquesne grad? So when you look at the education you provide is second to none. The things that you're doing there, Dean Barton, are just amazing to elevate our school. President Gormley, the things that you've done for the university has been great. It's more than just an education there. It is an introduction to what you want to do, why you want to do it, who are you doing it for. And so thank you for providing me with that foundation that really invited you to go to public service. It's not all like that at every law school. It's usually an invitation to go make money. But you have provided an opportunity for public service. So thank you to Duquesne for the opportunities that you've given me. I truly appreciate it. So then you get to 2025. My crack campaign staff is here today. They are phenomenal. We had a really, not just a good cycle to run in. I was very fortunate to have a staff that kept me on track. We have Celeste and Ben and Laura and Shane are all here today. Thank you for providing me thank you for keeping me on track. I see Fiona there. Thank you for the work and consulting that you did for me. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to keep things straight. Tommy McDonald, there's Tommy. Tommy McDonald is here. I truly appreciate him, and Tommy got a lot of energy, and we had some fun. But filming, imagine a film crew coming to your house at 8 a.m. in the morning with 4 kids, and you tell them that they have to smile. So it was a great campaign team. So thank you for everything you have done for me to make this moment special and for us to have a winning campaign. I ran around this year a lot with other appellate judges. I've been fortunate now to get to know Justice Donahue and Justice Weck and Justice Doherty. Stella Sy, who, let's give a round of applause to Stella Sy. She just won for the Commonwealth Court. So thank you, Stella, for being here. Mike Wojek. I drive him around. I say that his snoring used to keep me awake. But he got a little nervous going 92 miles per hour down strike that from the record. Going down the turnpike to get to where we needed to be in a very quick fashion. So thank you for that. And Alice DeBow, who I'm joining on the Superior Court. My new Superior Court colleagues, I can't thank you enough. The grace that you have shown me, the introductions that you've made to me, what you've offered me and my staff, I truly appreciate bringing me in and trying not to miss a beat. So any questions that I've ever had, my new colleagues, I appreciate everything that you have done for me so far. I'm bringing some staff with me, and they were with me at the Court of Common Pleas, and Amber was actually with me at the State House of Representatives. Amber Ross and Sean Walters, and we have Kristen Rierick, who's a law clerk, and then I have three new law clerks who aren't new to the Superior Court, but new to me. We have Emily, Lisa, and Sherry, so thank you for joining the team. It is going to be a really good team. So when you get to 2025 and you start running this campaign, and I already told you what Carrie said, and you heard what Pam said is, you know, she's the same way as Carrie. I call her and she says, "You're crazy. Hey, what are you going to do? You got 4 kids, you're going to run around the state, you're going to drive 60,000 miles. I said, "Pam, I got a plan." And then I called Kevin Kinross, and anybody who knows Kevin Kinross delivers things very much like a gentleman. But at the end of the day, his message is the same, that you're absolutely insane for thinking about running for this. This is not going to be an easy task for you. But after you explain everything to Kevin kind of got back to me and was like, "You know what, I think that this could work." And it worked. Sometimes I still can't believe that it worked, but it worked, and I truly appreciate your friendship, the friendship that everyone that gave us guidance. And the reason that I give you all of this background is whenever you start thinking about a campaign message, it's like, what do you want? You want it to be catch your eye. There's people probably sitting in this room that had to Google, what does the Pennsylvania Superior Court do? Right? It's not a race of high information. And so we were thinking about, what should we do as a campaign? Well, we could go with "Let's Go Brandon," but that was kind of already taken. I said the merchandise would probably be 75% off. It could be a good way to do this, but we decided against that. Tommy's laughing because he didn't agree with my suggestion of "Let's Go Brandon." But then you get back to the basics, and you get back to, what do people expect in a judge? And from the top down here in Pennsylvania, we're very fortunate, and it has always been that way. But we're very fortunate to have a bench of integrity, to have a bench that believes in the Constitution and the law. Their opinions are grounded in what they should be. And so thank you for giving us the mark that we need to hit. I'm going to read something. It's very short. I hope most of you recognize these words. It starts with, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice." Now, we all have to think and believe that each word is deliberately placed in the placement that it is in the Constitution of the United States. Justice is first. Justice is the first word that comes after "we the people." Not the first word, but the first to get to "we the people." And that's important, because no matter what goes on in politics or in DC or even in Harrisburg, we fall back to justice. And you need judges that I believe have different lenses. The lens that I have is what I just mentioned to you. Every single person that I mentioned, every single experience that I had, developed a lens so that you see the law, the Constitution, the way that you see it. Everybody sees it a little bit differently. And so when you think about how the framers did this, and they put justice first, and you think about each case that comes before you, it is truly about the individual or people that are behind that case. Not every case is one that is going to make the news. In fact, 99.9% are cases that never make the news. But every case has a person or behind it. And that is what all the judges that I've been working with have focused on. There are cases, and no one wants to come to court. No one wants to see a judge. They're in front of you because they have to be. They need to be. You are their last outlet of justice. That is it. And no matter if you're going to rule for or against them, no matter if they're rich or they're poor, no matter if they're represented by no one or they're represented by the most expensive attorney in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or the United States of America, the Constitution and law never changes. And that's the focus that this Supreme Court and these appellate benches have focused on. That is why I wanted to run. I wanted to join the appellate bench to see what 67 counties are doing across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and ensure that my lens never loses focus, that people are behind each case, and that this ruling, for or against them, they deserve a fair ruling that is fair, that is impartial, a ruling that is without fear, no favor of anyone or anything. And that is why we do the job. So I appreciate the opportunities that every single one of you have given me. There's a lot of labor folks, there's a lot of trial folks, there are a lot of people that have never been involved in politics in their life that are in this room today, people I graduated high school with, people that I'm going to meet today. And all of you are important to saving and making sure that democracy continues to be with justice first, because that is the way it should be, and I am honored and proud to be part of this and to be your next Pennsylvania Superior Court judge. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we just have a few concluding remarks here. I was asked by President Judge Ann Lazarus to extend her congratulations to you, Judge. She regrets very much that she couldn't be here, but she also wanted me to tell you her joy in the court being at full complement of 15 judges, the first time in a long time. So we're very happy you're on board. We wish to thank our administrative staff and the security staff of both the Superior Court and the Supreme Court for making today possible for us. We'd like to thank PCN for recording and televising this ceremony.
And the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office.
And was the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office? Oh, yes, I saw the sheriff's signs. We thank them also very, very much. Thank you, Chief, for reminding me of that. With that, I'm ready to call upon Jeff Bott on behalf of the Superior Court to announce our adjournment. Mr. Bott?
This very special session of the Superior Court now stands adjourned.